If you played 4STORY, do you actually know what it means? Because I don't, so let's read something about it. I've never really cared about the lore, and even why is it called even 4 stories? As the title says, there should be 4 stories, and there are actually 4 stories. The creation, the settlement, the new era, and the war age. In the background, meanwhile, I'll be reading the lore of 4STORY. I'll be again playing on For Eternity. If you wanna see actually my first feel out of this server, check out this first video on this server. Yeah. Before we'll get into it, now the quest we have is getting Gnoll Iron Swords. And the quest is probably here.
Are you fucking dumb?
Nah, here. Yeah. So the first story is the creation, which takes place about 3000 before Blowniat. I hope that I pronounce it correctly. I don't know what is Blowniat, and I would need to have an explanation for that. From the very beginning, there was never a separation between heaven and earth. Everything was a gaping hole of emptiness without a beginning and without an end. But I will kill this man. But then the first 2 gods entered the chat. So this is terrible. And also the gameplay is terrible. Multitasking. New level, level 9. We can buy this, right? Yes, it's okay. So as I said, 2 first and the main gods entered the chat, entered the world. They were divinities with creative powers. The Honorable Leah. And I don't think that there's any image of the god. And I also believe that the Leah represents like the Darion, right?
No!
The Honorable Leah embodied light and a hope and fought tirelessly and with exceptional ambition for harmony and life. Bergelius was like the exact opposite, you know. He, on the other hand, committed himself to nothingness. Superstitiously, he made sure that he did not have to share his powers with anyone else. He was kind of like greedy. The hostility between Leah and Bergelius continued to grow until one day a terrible battle broke out between them. Yeah. Unfortunately, if I understand correctly, you know, the good side, Leah, lost the battle, condemning her to a life in Bergelius' captivity. I would like to know, like, you know, how the fight looked like. If it was just between them or they had some sort of army and the whole side of Leah lost the fight. That's probably what we'll never learn because, you know, this is just like the lore we have and no really like video on it, animation, container containing in the western part of the Kuznets outpost. So again, we have to go there. I remember that these quests are like following each other and we are slowly but surely becoming richer and richer. 10 silver. Oh shit, boy. Leah is in captivity of Bergelius. He created a mysterious place of darkness which was cold and surrounded by shadows. The goddess, imprisoned but still full of hope, used her supernatural abilities to look upon the creation of her adversary. With her own powers, she created the interplay between heaven and hell. This phenomenon was later renamed Day and Night. At the same time, Leah also laid the foundation of life, earth, water, air, and fire. Fire. Okay, I hope that I'm going in the right direction. I believe that it is here. Ice, water, and detonator. Okay, I know. Shy. This is quite hardcore, not gonna lie. But 100 HP down with 1 arrow bolt. That's okay. And we'll finish him with melee. Bam. Okay, but let's quickly loot it. Nice. Detonator finished, but we need ice water. And that's that. Yeah. Kunya. Chill out there, brother. I will just like do little theft. Will I survive this? Geronimo! So far we know 2 gods, they fought between each other. Leah lost the great fight and she is captured in Bergelius' arms. I hope that I understand correctly, like, you know, Leah, Darion, no! And Bergelius. No! Maybe they are not really connected to these sites. It's possible. We will probably read something about that. Thank you, sir. Yeah, nobody wants to talk with me, I guess. And we have another backpack. Nice, boy. Okay, so new gear. Switch. We have to upgrade ourselves. This armor is not really the best looking one. Or whatever. Find the statue of Empress. Take it back to... Yeah, okay. So that's again the same location. Oh, isn't that actually in the far back side? Here, I believe. There's another boss, right? Alright, so let's continue in the lore. She decorated also the world with continents. There's only one continent, right? The Iberia. Vegetation and diverse creatures on the mainland and in the water. She gave one of the continents the name Andaron, the rest Iberia, okay. And she called her first inhabitants Mu. MU. As she could not defend her creatures herself, she conceived 8 protection guards and put them in charge of protecting the world. Conceived, that means like she created, I believe. I don't know this word that much really. By the way, as I said, let's go to the far back side of this area. What up, man? You good? So 8 guards, 8 protection guards. Bergelius did not notice Lea's creation until it had been completed. Ah yeah. Oh shit! Again that Minotaur. What is he doing here, man? You know what? Let's try to kill him. Okay, 100 HP, that should be doable. And then we'll see what will drop out of him. Let's humiliate him. 100 HP. No, let's not humiliate him. Not yet. Let's kill him melee style. Okay, that's what... Okay, maybe I'll die. Ah, nice. What the hell? Anyways, we have to find the statue of the Empress. So we should kill this one. Okay, let's loot him. Okay. So... It didn't jump out of him. Aha. Okay, so we didn't... That's another quest, I believe. We didn't need to go this far. Sorry, man. Sorry. So Bergelius was clueless until everything was done. Deeply unhappy that he had been so unobservant, he ordered Paracelius, one of his most loyal servants, to destroy her creation again as quickly as possible. Paracelius and his followers immediately made their way towards the idyllic world. A bleak cloud of fog drew over the country, spreading fear and horror. Paracelius misled the MU again, with his maliciousness and convinced them to join the reign of shadows. And so the Andaron's peace was destroyed completely. But we have those 8 guards, those 8 protection guards, which sent a great flood to destroy all evil and hence save Andaron. The mass of water almost obliterated all living creatures in the world, but the few who survived fled to the island Britron on the west coast of Iberia. Should I again kill this guy, man? Melee style. Silver axe. Oh damn, that will be pricey. 9 silver! Find the statue of Empress, take it back to repair. No, it's definitely not here. If it will drop out of one, then I will total face slap. It for real dropped out of one. I spent here like 10 minutes. So the survivors of the, again another war, you know, fled to the island called Britron. The evil influence, however, remained unbroken. In the island's isolation, many became abominable beasts. Paracelius used this influence and transformed Britron's inhabitants into monsters. The creatures on that island formed the militant tribe of the Rahu. Let me click onto the second story. The settlement is 3000 before to 0 before blown it, you know. In this world that Lea had created, various native races existed, spread across all continents. In Andaron, Bergelius had managed to raise himself to leader of the Rahu. You know, he created for himself like an army of creatures, let's say, and ruled the land in tyranny. According to the legend, Bergelius brought the dragon Chimera to life. I don't know what is the dragon, so a fire-spewing beast that spread fear and terror. Okay, so it wasn't a good dragon. Bad dragon, man. How to train dragon. Together with a host of black-winded demons, the dragon terrorized the lands, killing all that could not flee in time. Complete settlements were desolated in this way. Only ruins remained to remind of the once existing villages. Their homes pillaged and threatened by plundering hordes, many had to seek salvation in flight, on simple boats or sometimes even swimming. The displaced population crossed the oceans and landed finally in Andaron after a long and harrowing journey. Okay, into Andaron, which is Iberia today. So before they got to Iberia, where they were, like, did I miss it? First quest finished, let's go for the second one. Those that had not managed to reach the safety of the shores were buried in Dragonrat. A shrine to the dead still stands there today, a memory remembering the long forgotten times. Over the course of years, 4 large clans grew on Andaron. Elves, fairies, felins, and humans. The survivors of the natives who had not been ensnared by Perkelius' leadership were named the Mu clan. MU clan again. The Andaron's elves transformed over time into bodiless entities known as the Bone Tuna clan. They remained true to their traditions and abhorred a change of any kind. Now it is the time to kill finally again this boss for a reason and not just like randomly. No. I killed this boss 2 times. Okay, whatever. Experience at least. The fairies became known as the Mirhur clan. They are small, lovable, and extremely intelligent. Oh, but really fragile also, you know. Archer, 3 shots and they are down. They are definitely not to be underestimated as they are true masters of magic. Typically people are playing as fairies when it comes to these classes. But you can also play as a wizard or priest as a felin. Maybe it's even better choice because you have more HP, right? Now we will jump 200 years later. The cat-like creatures of the people, felin, of Nevet, united with the Mirhur clan. They are now known as the felins and they are still united in friendship with fairies. What about humans? What is their relationship to humans? The Parhol clan is made up of surviving humans. They were quick to come to terms with their new home and little by little settled across the entirety of Andaron, you know, of Iberia. They are ambitious and versatile but have a shorter lifespan than other species, let's say. Different styles of life and tradition of the clans brought some friction which eventually led to a war. It was short as the clans realized that they could only survive on Andaron if they lived together and in peace. Yeah. If only some people in the real life would also understand it. So another war, man, yeah, war everywhere. The Rahu forged plans for an invasion in secret. Rahu, yeah, that's the Bergelius army, right? Again, so much of information. I'm trying, you know, to play a game, play somehow, reading these in foreign language. Oh, that's extreme. Take the report to Gustav. Pion Skull. Mutated monsters. Kuyo. Okay. Now it is the time. Let's go once more into the rural forest, man. Sorry, man. So, the Rahu forged plans for an invasion in secret. Yeah, we read that. Assembled a fearsome army and descended upon Andaron, Iberia. By uniting their powers, the clans were able to defeat the Rahu and to force their retreat. Nice, man. Yeah. Nice, Rahu. In the confusion of battle, the powerful sword Grevendin fell into the hands of the soldier of Andaron. This sword was once created by dark powers. In fear of the shadows that seemed to appear out of the sword. Yeah, just throw it, man. Throw it somewhere. They brought the sword to the commander of their forces. He hid the sword in a safe location, but its unholy aura had already poisoned the people's hearts and ensued a new discord amongst them. Once again, out of peace came war, man. Another war. Yeah, just chill out, man. Chill out. Eat. I don't know what they're eating in Iberia. The 8 protective guards, they are still there. They didn't disappear. Rushed to Leia, and Leia is also still in the captivity, and reported to her all that was coming to pass. With Hera, the goddess, saw what was happening to her once peaceful creation, she sent the protective guards to Andaron with the aim of banishing Perkelius, that name is horrible, Perkelius from the world forever. Ban him from Iberia. First they destroyed Grevendin. Once the power of the sword was broken, yeah, that's the sword, they were able to break the war between the peoples. Species. Now, finally, for the 3rd time, now we will finally kill him with a purpose. Sorry, man. I know that I'm quite like... what the hell? Quite like focused on you. I was the whole time killing the wrong one, sorry. I love MacBook's keyboard, but for playing is a little bit worse, I would say, no. Keyboard with those big buttons, a little bit better, I'd say. So yeah, we are almost coming into the 2nd story, but the Rahu did not give in so easily. Catching all unaware, they desolated entire regions. After much fierce fighting of monstrous barbarity, the protective gods intervened once more and for the second time sent devastating flood that again flood. All they could do is to flood the entire country. Yeah, best solution, sorry. So they sent the devastating flood that destroyed practically all life. Very nice solution, as I said, very nice solution. Only a few survived, and as nomads, they traveled around the continent for a long time. It took centuries before the land was able to recover. However, the evil that had existed had not been completely banished from the world, and it began to stretch its claws once again. Yeah, like once you know, if they are still living, then once the content will again repair itself, then like, you know, even the good and even the bad will revive itself. So like flooding the whole country three times, man, wouldn't it be better to just like unite, you know, all the strength and go against the Valorian? What? And that was the settlement. That was the settlement story. Second story. Now we'll go into a third one once I will finish this quest. Okay, finished. Now I will show you the Markut. It's not even called, yeah, it's Markut, but we will jump. This is only option we have here. And you will jump here, and the path to the Markut, you will go like here. It's closed off. Also, all NPCs are only here and not here. I don't know if it's like for saving storage, let's say. And maybe also the NPC are switched to this location because fuck off, man.
Oh.
Because maybe the Drakan was back there in the original, you know, main building. Okay, finish. The first guard mission, chat to Orlando. Again, going back and forth, field study. Okay, you didn't receive this in the original, yes, if I remember it correctly. Go through the Kresnia forest south of Kuznets, then look for Breach and talk to him. I will empty my backpack again, very important task. 9 silver, let's go. 53 silvers, oh yeah, almost 60, come on. 60, yeah, 61. And also let's jump into the third, the New Era story, which takes place from 0 to 85 years after Blownate. Yeah, I still don't know what is Blownate. And it's explained right here, right now, right here. Queen Blight Blownate found at Iberia, United Kingdom of all clans, which heralded a new era. Who is Queen Who is Queen Blight Blownate? Where she came from, and was she here the whole time? Is it human? Because then she wouldn't be here the whole time, you know, she would be a long time dead. This is like, you know, 3000 years. The first times were shaped by hard battles and day-to-day survival. Some nomads settled as farmers but found the cultivating of their fields laborious, as hardly any seeds would germinate in the desolated earth. Attacks from wild creatures on the hunt for food scurried the content daily. Destroyed, let's say. Let's jump through it, man. Let's jump through it and take a quest. Strange drafts. Okay, I have to even kill these. Despite all adversities, the young kingdom grew even more powerful. The Iberians started to learn ancient martial arts in order to better defend themselves. Eventually, they managed to banish the majority of creatures to remote areas, like for example, right here, I would say. And by this, they brought again back the peace into the area where they are living. Imagine Kuznets being flooded by these gremlins. Towns emerged from the small villages, new regions were explored and populated. However, the rise of Iberia also led to unexpected difficulties. I'm still like curious about the times where they split into two fractions, because at this point, are they still all like Darions, let's say? Again and again, there were regional disputes that resulted in military skirmishes. Queen Blight Blownate had to initiate negotiations. After long discussion with her closest confidants, she divided up the land. Maybe this is the time where she will divide into Darion and Valorian, and set the borders of Iberia. Ardir, Tiberet, and Tarat. If you check it out on the map, Iberia, that's the whole. Ardir, I have really bad memories of Ardir. Ardir is here, Tiberet here, and that. Tarat is here. Yeah, these mentioned maps were first lands to be created. They lay in strategically important positions in the center of continent and were hotly contested as a result. Once again, the barbarous Rahu stormed into Iberia and lay almost the entire continent to waste in the Battle of Ardir. Ardir, as I said, bad memories. Ardir is where I met a lot of, because you can teleport there even from Darion and Valorian. The fight between good and evil burned anew. On one side stood the powers of creation, attempting for thousands of years to keep the world at peace. On the other hand, the armies of Bergelius, hell bent on taking power for themselves and establishing a reign of terror. Fighting in the ranks of Ardir was Arian Horus, a brave warrior. After numerous battles where he emerged as a victor, came a long and grueling battle in which he had to succumb. However, he was able to bring his injured comrades to safety in time. Okay, so he basically lost. This is again like synonym for some word I don't really know. However, he did not give up and gathered new troops under his command. In Tarat, he finally led the Iberians to triumph victory against the opposition's main force, killing many of their leaders in the process. They were also able to expel the rest of the Rahu. But then suddenly the queen and the hero of the hour Arian, Horu, disappeared without a trace. And this was really mysterious. The whole time I could be like killing the... Yeah, but it is better to just like say it without focusing on something. Sorry guys, just give me 5 minutes ago. I will use long quest where I will kill animals for talking about the 4STORY lore. This is why I really hate about being a low level and, you know, killing these animals which are blue and not yellow. So you cannot really... Well, but it makes sense that you cannot really make them group together, you know, and then put on the shower of bolts, let's say. You anyways don't have it. You anyways don't have the spell, so what for? Like, come on, bro, come on. Show me what you got. And you've got nothing. Complete. 1300 experience, nice. Asno, that's up there, yeah. Let me switch to the War Age. So the War Age takes place 85 after Blownit to the present day. Question is, like, present day means what? Like, now it's in terms of 4STORY year 200, you know, so 85, 200, that wouldn't be that much of a difference. But let's kill the Asna first. I would need a spell that you can use only after casting the second one, you know. Permanent shot, yeah, that's very helpful. Conversation with Retram. Retram is in this village, right? To be honest, I don't really understand the placement of these NPCs, why they are living, like they are surrounded by, that would make sense, but why they are living voluntarily in areas surrounded by gremlins, you know. Technically, we could also jump into mission documents, try how the leveling up there works. Alright, back to the lore. Queen Blight, Blownit, and Arian, the warrior, vanished from the face of the earth and never appeared again. There was no royal offspring, and thus the kingdom was divided into 4 equal large territories, which were ruled by the queen's closest advisors, Niben Maha, Ruud Lopesa, Edgar Seher, and Yuma Plutak. Those were humans, the closest advisors. So Queen and the warrior just for some reason disappeared. That's probably again an act of Berkelius. Driven by greed and longing for more authority and more territory, the 4 guys threw themselves into a bitter power struggle. Burned by this tyranny, their subjects became deeply unhappy. Edgar could not deal with the conflict any longer and moved to the south of Iberia. So probably somewhere here. Where these maps ever opened? Maybe he will be the one standing beside the Gore. Maybe. Just like thinking about it out loud. I'm thinking about loud. He formed the holy city of Gore. Foreshadowing, man. But I didn't read it, man. I didn't read it before. So this is first feel. The Gore situation state. It's really interesting. In the 4STORY right now, you will be spawned into Gore. And why is like Gore recruiting, training for both of fractions? You know, what the hell? Why Valorian doesn't train its own warriors? And Darion as well, you know. But it makes sense in terms of like the story. Now I understand it. You know, back then I didn't understand also like what the hell Gore does here. What is that? Guys, the heat is brutal, I gotta tell you. I have like headaches right away when I wake up, which is maybe like alarming. I have to target him? Shit. Yeah. Okay, I got him. And it's done. But the lore, interesting. Oh, I would say that the lore, especially the initial lore, will not really give you much. It's not really connected that much to the actual game you are playing, I'd say, you know. There should be more. Now we are getting into it, but there should be more about the Valorian Darion, you know. The people's dissatisfaction became an open revolt. Under the leadership of Armin of Rampart, a rebellion began in which they occupied the city of Lesina. That's Valorian, right? The government troops managed to surround them and round them up in the city center. That's not Lesina. There's not any Lesina, so I don't know what they're talking. about, for example, why this map is not a castle. This sounds like important. The government troops managed to surround them and run them up in the city center. The rebels managed to survive there for a long time, despite the fact that they were cut off from all supplies. However, on one night, their siege came to a bloody end. Under the cover of darkness, the army worked their way into the city center and attacked the rebels. 20,000 rebels were massacred. That night went down in history as the Night of the Black Moon Massacre. Fucking rumor has it that the missing war hero Arian Horus was also involved in the bloodbath. Army of Rampart managed to flee. That was the leader of this rebellion guild, let's say. Afterwards, Ruat Lopeza abdicated, renewed the division of Iberia. He took charge of Darion. Ah, okay, so that's the leader of Darion. Yeah, Darion. Okay, I'm running out of batteries, so we have to make it a little bit faster. Ruat Lopeza. He took charge of Darion. He gave Valorian, the west, to Niben Maha. Yeah, that's one of the four. He disappeared. Ah, I thought he disappeared. So now finally we know something which is more connected to the lore, to the actual game. Okay, sorry guys for this terrible gameplay. And the considerable quickly developing holy city in the south, which was ruled by King Tristan, became Gore. Okay, wait a second. Edgar Seher could not deal with the conflict any longer and moved to the... Okay, so he wasn't the leader, he was just like a citizen then. The Gore owned King Tristan. It's quite like long lore, man. So, Ruat Lopeza became a strict ruler. That's interesting, like, you know, because there's the Darion leader. But like, you know, you can be good and be still strict. Protect gremlins. Okay, kill 5 gremlins and barracks. Ruat's powers became more important to him than the welfare of his people. Oh, this is quite interesting. Game-changing lore. Because I thought that maybe more the Valorian is like pure council fraction, let's say. Niben Maha, on the other hand, was a ruler who was very focused on the needs of his people and placed importance on discipline and recruited a tightly organized army. Alright, so it seems like the Valorian was a stronger fraction. However, the division of Iberia did not put an end to the means power struggle. Both leaders proclaimed themselves emperors and the military conflict continued between Darion and Valorian. Yeah. It's still persisting. Gore remained neutral. King Tristan was mainly interested in trade and supply the enemy kingdoms equally with food and weapons, man. Two are fighting, the third one is laughing. That's how I would describe Gore. One day, Ruat sent some men to Valorian to collect taxes from the inhabitants. The tension escalated when Niben Maha captured and beheaded the entire delegation. This led to a war, another war, man, between both kingdoms. To finance his army, Niben Maha increased Valorian's taxes. Man, we don't want to pay taxes. Man. What the hell, we will receive 2 survival potions. Kork, the boss. Ruat's troops dared to attack Valorian's capital city. At first, the attacks seemed successful. However, the attacks were not able to occupy the castle in which Valorian's soldiers had in transit themselves. That's essentially, you know, in the Kedr. So if I understand correctly, Darion, they were fighting here and the castle is here. The siege was cancelled and both rulers agreed to a ceasefire. Convinced that the Gore had secretly been supporting Darion. He was supporting him a little bit more. It wasn't like he wasn't neutral, but he was leaning more towards this. Niben Maha attacked the kingdom in the south of the continent. Interesting. Many people managed to flee on time and get themselves out of harm's way. King Tristan reinforced this neutrality. Thereupon, the troops from Valorian left Gore. Shocked by the attack on his home, King Tristan began recruiting his own powerful army. The ceasefire between Darion and Valorian continued. However, the hostility between them continued also. Thus, the leaders decided to separate their countries by a fortified border and stop all trades between them. Gore became the only trade partner for both kingdoms. Not even 2 years had passed when border disputes led to the Second Great War between Darion and Valorian. Yet again, neither country won. Totally useless like wars, you know, they will never solve anything. It was only after many exhausting battles that both leaders agreed to another ceasefire and trade flourished again. Valorian concentrated on food, nature resources as well as tools and armor. Darion focused on producing magically enhanced weapons and magic potions. Yeah, it seems like the Valorian is more like warriors type and Darion is like magic. Peace has been kept for many years now, but it's very fragile. Yeah, it's very fragile. Both leaders are using the time to recruit new troops, and there is evidence to suggest that the next war is just around the corner. Okay, so those were the 4 stories. But I thought, I didn't hear in this lore about Lapiris, let's say. That's NPC you will see in very OG intro of the game. You will spawn in like space, let's say. You will finish very easy tasks and you have there Lapiris, and other, I believe there were 4. But alright, so we can do a follow-up on this lore of 4STORY if I missed something, if you would be interested in that. It was quite like energy draining, focusing on 2 things. Let's finish this video with grandiose killing of Cork. No, it's not about killing the Cork, actually is, but we just need these belongings which he won't give us. Hello Cork, how are you? Do you like this? I hope you do. Right, I don't like this, man. And he's down. Oh yeah, finished. Today we actually didn't do that many of levels because I was talking all the time. We started at 8, right? And we are 14, so 6 levels. 2 survival tincture. You will never receive this in normal game. Go to the building in northern part of East Elixir. Okay, but we will leave that for another video. Going to the level 90, which probably won't happen, and we'll talk about it in the next video. So I hope that you like this one. 3/4 of the whole lore. That was like lore. That was like past, double past. But now the last page told us a lot more. That one who went to the gore, the one into Valorian, Darion. Actually, I don't know where's the 4th one, because there were 4. Okay. Subscribe, comment down below, like everything, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully.